Oh hi. Heraklion, the city in Greece, on the island of Crete. Administrative center of the periphery Cretan community. Lima. Heraklion. Other historical names of the city. Handak, Megalocastra, Candia, Handakis, Herakli. It is called in honor of Herakles' hero. The city was built on the place of the small harbor, former as it is considered, port on the bank of the Cretan Sea, near the city of Knossos, the center of a Minoan civilization. Strabo mentioned Heraklion in geography. The 1st century. That is the city of Herakla. A seaport of Knossos. Strab. 10.4. Though added that the legendaries Armenos used other town of Amnis as port. Archaeological finds can't confirm with confidence that Heraklion Strabo is a predecessor of the modern city. Much later Arabs, having taken Crete in 824, turned this place into the strengthened Fort Handak, who held within 140 years. For protection of the city, Arabs constructed powerful walls and surrounded them with a deep ditch. From here and the name of the city in Arab meaning ditch. In 961 the city was won by the Byzantine commander Nicephor Phoca after a persistent 8-month siege. Handak was plundered and destroyed. His riches by 300 ships transported to Byzantium. Then the city was restored under the name of Megalocastra, that big fortress means. About 250 years later Crusaders crushed Byzantium, and Crete was sold in 1204 to Venetians. At the time of a distemper the city appeared in hands of pirates, but in 1211 the Venetian Republic established the port here. During the Venetian dominion the city received the name Candia, which was assigned to all island. During this era the city reached considerable prosperity. Venetians enclosed it with new, very powerful walls, decorated with a set of majestic buildings, fountains, the areas, monuments, churches. After capture of Constantinople by Turks in 1453, its many inhabitants moved to Christian Candia, having given an impetus to cultural development. In 1541 in the village of Fodil near Candia the great artist Domenico Teotokopulos, better known under the name of El Greco, who received the first lessons of painting in the monastery of Candia, was born. In 1462 Venetians decided to construct a new protective wall. Construction lasted for 100 years. Each inhabitant of the island from 14 to 60 years was called for work on construction of fortress within 1 week annually. The wall on perimeter made 4.5 km, and thickness in some places reached tens of meters. In 1645 Turks began the war to the country, which lasted for 24 years. In May 1667 the Turkish army under command of the Grand Vizier Ahmet Köprülü started a siege of Candia. In 28 months of a siege Turks lost 108,000 people, Venetians of 29,000. In September 1669 the Venetian military leader Francesco Morosini handed over fortress, having discussed peaceful evacuation of the city. The city was renamed by Turks into Handakis. At the beginning of the 19th century, Handocus found the historical name Heraklion, then Heraklion. His population was exposed to terrible slaughter. 1828 and 1897. As revenge for support of the insurgent movement, what? In 1898, Crete won independence under protectorate of the European powers, and in 1913 the island, after the Balkan War of 1912-1913, reunited with Greece. Residents of Heraklion, as well as residents of the Cretan cities of Hania and Rhytimnon, became famous in May 1941 for the participation in the Battle of Crete and the subsequent participation in the Greek resistance in 1941-1944. Since 1971, the city became the administrative center of Crete. The climate is Mediterranean. Island position of the city allows to soften fluctuations of temperatures, therefore the summer in the city is more cool than in the majority of other cities with similar type of climate, and the winter is even warmer. The communal community Heraklion includes 11 settlements. The area is 52444 square kilometers. The population 144,422 inhabitants on a census of 2011. Aviation service of Heraklion carries out the Nikos Kazantzakis Airport. Sites: St. Titus's Cathedral, St. Menesis Cathedral, Church of Street, Catherine Street, Mark's Basilica. Architecture: Knossos Palace, Fortress Gules, Venetian Loggia, Aquarium of Crete, Square Lviv, Morosini Fountain, Port of Heraklion, St. Peter's Monastery. Museums: Archaeological Museum, Festsky Disk, Historical Museum of Crete, Natural History Museum, Nikos Kazantzakis Museum, Museum of Fine Arts, Museum of Church Art. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.